Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. You're probably wondering to yourself right now, James, why is one of your garage doors on the floor inside your garage? Well, today we're going to do a garage door upgrade. We're going to go from the old wooden doors that we have here, and we're going to go to something a little bit more modern, something more North American style of garage door openings, which is becoming very popular here in the Philippines. So go ahead and join me on today's episode and watch as we go along with the installation of a new garage door system. Anyway, let's go ahead and get today's episode started. Now, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. When we first built Villa Feliz here in our subdivision, we decided to go with the traditional wooden style door. But being in the Philippines, we learned over time that there's some challenges that have to do with the environment that might cause problem with products like wooden doors. And I'll show you in just a moment some of the problems that we've had with these doors right here. Even though these are really good doors and we use the recommended type of wood, which is Yacal, Nara, and Mahogany are really some of the best wood building wood types here in the Philippines, we still saw a bunch of things like cracks and shrinking and things, and again, we'll show you in just a moment. So what we're doing today, we reached out to a company. We actually reached out to 3 different garage door companies here in the Philippines, and we'll talk about that a little bit at the end, our experience of each one of the companies that we reached out to. But anyway, the one that we ended up settling up with right now is a company called JIH. They install garage doors. They do gate openers for your house, those kind of things for security of your home. And I'm waiting on them to come out here now. So what I did, I already dropped one of the old garage doors, and I decided to wait for them to come for the other one, because after I dropped this, I didn't really realize how heavy Yacal wood is, and I'm going to need some assistance moving that to the back before I drop this other door right here. So while we're waiting, I'm going to talk a little bit about the problems that we had with the existing doors, show you a little bit of what the door company JIH, what they actually did prior to what they're going to be doing today, which is the delivery and the installation of the final door panels. And I'm going to discuss a little bit about my experience so far. Now it is 10:55 and they're supposed to be here right around 11 o'clock. So before they actually roll up, I just want to show you the doors and some of the problems we've had. Now this is Yacal. Yacal is usually a pretty stable wood, and it's really good for anything that's going to be used like for floors, if you can do wood floors, or for doors, because they have a characteristic that they don't break down like some other traditional woods when they're exposed to the environment, like the sun and the rain and the wind and things like that. But they do break down a little bit, which normal wood over time is going to have to require something like some sanding down, refinishing, resealing, so that it can continue to be able to provide protection from the environment in your house. But this wood, I think what happened when we had this fabricated, this was actually built locally in our town of Lipa. I don't think the wood was dried quite enough at the very beginning. Normally it takes months, up to a year if you're doing it just by air drying, or if you put it in the kiln, you could do it over a few days. But I think this was not dried properly, because you can see we had a lot of problems with cracking. That's actually filled with some sealant, some silicone sealant inside there just to keep it. But here is an area, even after this was done, you can see it cracked right here. So these panels right here that are inserted inside some of the hardwood right here, they cracked on almost maybe a 1/4 inch, and in some spots maybe a 1/4 inch or more, somewhere around 1 centimeter. So you can see, and you can see the panel, because this is where the old top of the panel was, and it slid down because of the shrinking on both sides. So anyway, it's time to go ahead and retire these. But when I say retire, we're not throwing this away, because we're going to reutilize all of this wood. This is actually really good wood here. And we'll take this and we'll add it to our wood storage. You know, we have the wood storage there. And we have the mahogany wood storage back here in the back that we're going to be using on an upcoming project here for some furniture items right here. These are partially milled. So what we'll do is we'll take it apart. We'll store it in reasonable section size. I'll get rid of all of the individual panels on the inside, but mainly these bigger pieces like this I'll be able to use from other projects. Also, something I want to show you, they already installed the track rails inside here, the track rail system. They came out about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, and they installed the track rail. Yeah.
Yan muna. Na naman.
I want to show you something that's a little bit different the way they do track rail over here as opposed to the way we do it in the US. They actually did some additional angle iron support on the backside. Now in the US, we normally have this type of angle bar up inside here, and it's very thin, galvanized, and they will make a drop down bracket from the ceiling, and they will connect it in maybe 2 places here, here, and it will give the additional support. But this is not nearly as strong as this very thick black iron angle bar that they're using right here. And I kind of like the way they do that here. And they'll weld it to the track itself, and then they'll come back today. One of the things that they'll do before they complete the installation, they will prime this and put flat black paint on here so that it won't have any problem with corrosion. So what they did is they installed that. They installed the torsion bar up here. Again, this was at the very, very beginning, the torsion bar, as well as they installed the motor. And I will let you know right off the bat, this is my own motor. I ordered this from the US because you can't get this model of LiftMaster with the MyQ Wi-Fi and all this kind of neat stuff. You can't get this over here for the side motor. Normally the motors you're going to get here in the Philippines are the ones that are going to connect with a rail that goes all across the top, and then the motor will be back here on the back side. But my experience with those type of motors in the past is they're a little bit noisier when they're pulling it back and forth. There's some wobbling going on, and I just wanted a clean as profile of the roof as possible. So that's why I put purchased the LiftMaster side mount motor. And what I'll do at the very end of the episode and in the description block, I will give you details about the LiftMaster, and we'll get to experience it. Now, being that this is a US motor, I ordered this on Amazon.com. It is a 110 only, so what I had to do is install a transformer, a step-down transformer, and that's what we have over here. You can see, and what I like about this one, it tells you what the input voltage is, and when it does the output, when this is actually operating, it will show you the load on. And another thing I really like about this is a small profile that we have right here. This is actually an 800 watt, which this pulls, I think, 180 watts. And this is the smallest one that they have, but we have to allow for the surge and the current draw on it. So I think we're going to be okay with this one right here. Well, look at the small profile. Originally, we were going to put a bracket here. A bracket that's very big, and the transformer that we were going to use, I'll show you. We were going to use the same transformer that we used back here for our charging block for our battery power. So we were going to use something very similar to this, and this is actually a much bigger profile, and I didn't want that sticking out. So I think everything in one little area over here I think is the best option for aesthetics, and I think it'll work just fine. Anyway, something else I want to talk about is the installation of all the wires. Now, to expedite today's installation, I went ahead and installed these myself. These are the photo sensors. You know, they send a light, so in case anything's blocking a child or a vehicle, it will stop the door from coming down. And I installed it underneath this protective PVC. You can see, and this is very thin. This is 1/2 inch, and it gives a finished look when it comes to your installation of all your wiring. It hides all that ugly wiring. This is a protective cable slack device inside. It's basically a relay on the inside, and for some reason, if the door is not closing properly, this will close the relay inside and it will stop the door from opening, so you don't do any damages to your motor or to your door itself. Now, in the box with the door opener, the controller, it also comes with this 1-button remote control. This is normally what you would mount inside or place inside your vehicle so you can open and close it. It runs off of a battery. It did not come with this automatic garage door lock. I had to purchase this separately. This was an optional feature that did not come with the kit. Now, it's not necessary to have this automatic garage door lock here because the door itself won't open and close if the door is closed and the motor is turned off. It has an emergency cable in the back so that you can manually open and close it if you have to, and that's what this is. This cable is right here. You yank on this. When you pull on it, it disengages the motor from the actual door roller assembly. But the thing is, as long as you don't do that, the door will stay securely closed for security reasons. But since it seems to be something that most people install, we're going to go ahead and install this as well. I also purchased the LiftMaster 880 LMW Smart Control Panel, and this is similar to the one that came free with the motor itself, except for this is a little bit smarter, hence the name Smart Control Panel, but it does require some wire. So now, just waiting on the garage door installation team, and we'll get started at that point of doing the install of the door panels. Well, it appears our garage door team has arrived on site, and I can see door panels up on the top. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're up to the point now, all the panels are installed, just completed the programming of the motor, and I'm just going to show you when you press the button for the motor. And you see, he walked in there and the photo sensor caught him and it didn't fall on him, so it did what it's supposed to do. It's a safety feature. So we'll go ahead and we'll close it back again. And then we'll take a look at it, see what it looks like from the inside and from the outside. Now, there's still other things that need to be done. They're still working on the weatherproof strip. That's being sent out right now. They don't have it. Let's go ahead and hit the opening button right here. Again, that's the simple button that we have over there. That's not the real fancy smart controller button that we'll have to install later on. There we go. It's about time to close out today's video, and I just wanted to add one more thing. I believe I said earlier that there was 3 ways to open and close the garage door. Remember the push button that comes with this model right here of the LiftMaster. It's just this little green button to open and close. I said there was the one that you would normally mount inside your vehicle. When I say mount, you just hang it to the sun visor inside. I also told you about the LiftMaster 880 LMW Smart Control Panel, which I haven't installed. Remember, I said we're going to install that on that wall over there. And there's not a priority for that right now. But I did not talk about the 4th way of doing it, and that is using the MyQ app on your phone. You can use it if you have any type of a Chamberlain product that is wireless, Wi-Fi. We have it for our house in the U.S. We can open and close the garage door from there, as well as we can open and close it from this right here for the house on the MyQ. And you can see it should send a signal through the Wi-Fi cloud, and it should be closing our door as soon as it makes that connection. And there you go, it's closing the door. So we have four ways to open and close the door. Now what I wanted you to see, we have all the lights off in here. It's dark inside the garage and it's cloudy, overcast, but with these type of doors, we have nice light coming inside. So I can actually work inside the garage inside with the doors closed. Keep it cool because we're in the basement area, and this area is normally very cool as it is. And if it were sunnier outside, we would have a lot more light in here as well. Let's take a look and see what it looks like from the outside. And here's the final install from the outside. And what you probably notice is the white trim. It has been touched up just a little bit out here. It was embarrassing the way it looked before. So I went down and I spoke with my good friend Romeo Nasete of Caribbean Construction, and he helped me with one of his crew, one of his painters, finishing men to come over here and touch this up just a little bit so it looks a little bit nicer. So anyway, I am going to open the garage door so you can see what it looks like from the outside. Nice thing you can see, nice reflection of everything else here in the driveway right here. It wanted my Face ID. That's why it took just a little bit longer. Another security item that's attached to the MyQ from Chamberlain. All right, well, there you have it. And one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and it had to do with the selection of the wood grain. This is aluminum, and this is powder coated aluminum with wood grain pattern inside here. I don't know how good you can see it with the camera here, but you can see it's very similar to our PVC that we have on the rest of the house. So normally they don't have this color, but the fine folks at JIH, they went ahead and sourced out and was able to get me the color that we wanted to match the rest of the windows and doors here at Villa Feliz. And one final note, if you remember I said I ordered the 841LM automatic garage door lock, and that actually connects to the side here. You'll drill a hole and it locks in and it connects to the controller up here. I haven't installed this yet because when I was telling you about the security, you cannot open the garage door at all because the motor locks it into place. But as an additional layer of security, if you want to install this, you can install it. And since I purchased it, I'll install it, but I will be doing that at a later date. In closing, my final thoughts on both the garage door and the garage door opener itself. Well, let's start with the garage door opener, which is the LiftMaster, and I'll leave a link in today's description block if you're interested in the LiftMaster that I chose. It's the latest model that they have as of today for LiftMaster side mount garage door opener, and I'm very happy with the garage door opener. I've had the center, all my other garage door openers in the past have always been center mount on the ceiling. This one seems to be much better because it's quieter, it seems to run smoother, it takes up less space, and well, let me just say the one that are normally mounted in the center, they seem to be very noisy, and they seem to also bounce around a little bit. When I say bounce around when the door opens, it seems to make some noise on the door as well when it opens up. So I'm extremely happy, especially like the features that I have 4 different ways to open the garage door. Okay, let's move over to the garage doors. The garage doors that we had installed by JIH. The JIH guys did a great job. What I do like about what JIH did for me is they went out of their way and they were able to get a powder coating and a wood simulation of a color that they have never sold before. But they did go out and ask, and they were able to do that. I tried to get one other company and they said it wasn't available, and there was another company that didn't even show up when I tried to get them to come out and give me a quote and tell me what products that they actually have. So that was my experience. Remember I said earlier we were going to talk about experiences of 3 different companies. So JIH for me was the best one for customer service. The door itself, I will say that this type of door that we installed here, since it's all glass, all the panels are glass, I will say it's not as strong as if you had an insulated door. And it's not as strong as if you had an insulated door with something like Typhoon or Hurricane brackets that they have that do extra shoring up. But you wouldn't be able to do it here because the brackets are normally installed in between the middle of each one of the panels, and these are all glass or polyglass in between each one of those, so you can't do that. So something that has to do with high winds, we're going to report back later on how well this is faring up with high winds, because as you know, in the Philippines we are prone to typhoons. So we'll take a look at that as time goes on. Other than that, I'm really happy with the quality of the install. I like the fit and the finish of the doors themselves. Well, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode on installing a modern North American style garage door in our home here at Villa Feliz in the Philippines. If you enjoy videos similar to this, please give me a thumbs up, please share, and if you have not subscribed, just click on the little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time from right here in the very beautiful Philippines, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you're interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.